If you are new to the Airbnb game, here are 7 tips that I'm going to be sharing with you for new Airbnb hosts. These tips are based on my experience as being a host and also a co-host. I hope this helps you out. If you're new here, my name is Amanda. I started out by renting out my spare bedroom on Airbnb. From there, I was able to scale to manage multiple Airbnbs. So let's get into it, y'all. I have my notes today because we're really going to get into it today. Okay? So tip number 1 is understanding the short-term rental regulations. This is very important because nowadays short-term rental regulations are becoming more and more strict with Airbnbs. In order to find out the short-term regulations of where your property is located, you would go on the county website. So for example, if you live in Charleston, South Carolina, and your property is located in Charleston County, you would go on the Charleston County website to see if you need a short-term rental permit and or business license. Now, some county websites, you might not need a short-term rental permit. You might not need a business license, because I have had certain situations where some of my clients, the area that they're in, there's no regulation in certain areas. So sometimes you don't need either. Sometimes you only need a business license. Sometimes you only need a short-term rental permit. It varies based on the county that you are in. Now, I will say I had a special situation where there was a particular property that I was managing. It was located in a city. So I contacted the city of the location. And they said, well, they're not in our county. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. So, or they said like, hey, well, we don't have jurisdiction over that area. I was like, okay, but the property's in the city. And they said, no, well, yeah, but still. So I was like, okay, who do I contact next? They said, well, contact the county. I said, well, I contact the county. So I contact the county and say, well, we don't regulate short-term rentals right now, so they don't need anything. So what I did was I made sure that I contacted over the phone, but not only that, I sent an email so that I can get a paper trail, because I love to get paper trails just to be on the safe side in case anything should change, or, just it's good to have paper trail. So that was a unique situation where I didn't need my client didn't need a short-term rental permit and even the business license. So it just all depends. But just make sure that you're being proactive and understanding, like, okay, what do I need and where do I get it from? Also, if you're having trouble still looking on there, just call the zoning department. If you're having trouble looking on the website or finding it, call the zoning department. The zoning department should be able to assist you. Also, make sure you stay on top of your game with the regulations, because if you are conducting Airbnb or any time of short-term rental activity and you get caught, there could be a penalty or a fine. Tip 2 is to invest in a smart lock and also a lockbox. I've found this extremely helpful, especially if you are a first-time Airbnb host. This is for actually not even first-time Airbnb hosts. This is for all hosts. You need to make sure that you have a lockbox and a smart lock. Why? Because smart locks can malfunction. And sometimes us as hosts, we'll get the notification that the battery is dying. And then we forget to change it. And then it dies right before the guest comes. And we can't alert the cleaner to change the battery because the cleaner has already cleaned and they already left the property. So now the battery's dead. So now what do we do? In this case, you would have a lockbox. So if your battery dies, or even if it malfunctions, get a lockbox, because you have these are man-made. I had a situation where one of my clients, our guests locked themselves out of the house. And it was only because my client did not have a dummy lock on the bottom of the door. So she had a smart lock with the keypad, but then she had a actual regular lock that actually locks instead of having a dummy lock. And so what happened was the guests locked themselves out, and they were like, oh my gosh, I locked myself out. What do I do? And I was like, oh, no worries. Here's a lockbox. Here's the lockbox code. And that was that. It was fast. It was easy. I didn't have to get up out of my bed to open the door, and the guests did not have to wait for me to come and open the door. Everyone is happy. There's no frustrated guests, and everything was great. So get a lockbox. It's very important, especially In the event a smart lock malfunctions. That's just the biggest thing. Get a lockbox. You'll thank me later. Number 3 is to get short-term rental insurance. I really would hate for something to happen to your short-term rental and you're not covered. Yes, on these short-term rental platforms, they cover up to a certain amount. And it's all good and dandy until they don't cover something that has happened. Like they don't cover a certain thing, you know. But get yourself some insurance because you don't want to be in a situation where certain things aren't covered. It's very important. That could save you so much money, and insurance is good to have. So invest in insurance, protect yourself. Number 4 is to take high quality photos. I always recommend getting a professional photographer who specializes in real estate. The only reason why I recommend is because a photographer is going to get angles that you may not get. They're going to have an eye for certain things. However, if you're not able to invest in a photographer at this time, go ahead and use your phone. Make sure that you're shooting in natural light and make sure that the pictures are clear, bright, and capture special amenities. What makes your property stand out? Capture those. Do you have a fireplace? Do you have a balcony? You know, do you have these things that stand out that the guests can say, wow, I got a book there? And eventually, once you start getting bookings, reinvest in a photographer because it's just more, it has that more professional look. And what if you can't edit the way that the photographer can, you know? I'm not against phones. But I'm just saying, always shoot for the best of the best. And also, you also can, like, once you take your, like, if you take it on your iPhone or whatever phone, you can go on Fiverr and have someone actually edit it for you for a cheaper price. So it's just something to think about. High quality photos. I would also suggest within those high quality photos, post about 15 to 20. Make sure you have about 15 to 20. If you get the room, get a picture of the whole room. Don't get different angles. Like if you have that one picture, have that one picture. You don't have to have multiple pictures of the room if it's just the same bed, if it's just the same, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta make it make sense. Number 5 is to set clear rules and expectations. This is very important. Make sure you have it in your check-in instructions. Make sure you have it in your rules under your Airbnb listing. Extremely important, because if they break the rules, you need to make sure that you're reinforcing it, or if you have to get them removed out of your Airbnb, make sure that those rules are already in there. If you say no more than 5 guests and you see that they have more than 5 guests, now it's time to reinforce the rules or contact support. Make sure that your rules are in there. So that way you are setting the expectation. And that sometimes when you set the rules, that will deter some people. Oh, we can't have a party. Let's go to the next listing. Oh, we can't smoke in here. Let's go to the next listing. You know, just have your rules and set your expectations. Don't be afraid to put your foot down and set your own expectations. This is your property and you need to make sure that it's protected. So set your rules to protect your property. Number 6 is to offer amenities that stand out. So what's going to help your listing stand out? Do you have a welcome basket? Do you have special amenities like maybe like a game room or something to help your listing stand out? You know, you might have like a themed Airbnb. What makes your listing different from others? You just want to make sure that you are also advertising that in your listing. Do you have like do you have fast Wi-Fi? That's an amenity. Okay, whether you believe it or not, that's an amenity. Fast Wi-Fi, because some areas don't have fast Wi-Fi. And that will be like an important amenity for like a business traveler, because they're working away from home, so they're on a business trip. So having fast internet is important. A good amenity is parking. If you have let's say you have a loft in the middle of a busy city, but you have free parking, that's a great amenity. Do you have a balcony that the view is over a beautiful body of water? You know, let the guests know what your amenity is. Let them know. And number 7 is to master your pricing strategy. What does this mean? I highly recommend to get a price optimization system. The price optimization system is going to let you know what the market data is. What does that mean? Well, they're going to let you know how much you should price for your average daily rate. This is going to help you know what the market is. They're going to let you know, hey, this is priced too high. And that's why you're probably not getting any bookings. Or this is priced, you need to price it a little bit more to your competitor. Who is my competitor? I don't know who my competitor is. In the price optimization system, they're going to show you who your competitor is. I use Price Labs, and Price Labs has helped me a lot for me to understand who my competitor is. I literally can look on that listing and see how they differ from me. How are they ahead of the game than me? What are their pricing? What are their amenities? With the price optimization system as well, with having a price optimization system, it's going to help you be ahead of the game. So for example, Price Labs lets me know, or Price Labs knows when there's an event coming up, a festival, some type of event that's going to create high demand. So what it does is it increases my price to optimize my listing. It anticipates demands. It also lets me know when slow season is, when high season is. They base prices based on seasonality. So if we're going on Christmas coming up soon, or Thanksgiving, my listing is going to be optimized. Prices is going to be a little bit more higher because demand is going to be higher. So when you get these price optimization systems, make sure you understand and you learn it, so that way you be able to have your settings at a certain you be able to understand your settings and use your settings to your advantage. So I hope that helps you. I hope these 7 steps has helped you as a new Airbnb host. If you are interested, I do have a free ebook called Vacation Rental Management Made Easy, where I give you tips and tricks on how to manage your Airbnb. And once you download it, you automatically be entered in my 5-day host challenge. So take advantage of it. The ebook will be in the description below. I hope you have a wonderful day and check out my next video. Peace. See you later.